Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast. I am your host, Josh. Joining me here is Rule on Wrestling.
Hey guys.
Stu not joining us today. He had some other stuff to attend to. So it's just me and Rue for this episode, and we are back with another Headlines of the Week podcast. I think we're just gonna start doing these on Saturdays instead of Fridays anyway. Um, I don't know. Saturdays just seem so much easier to do, and then we could actually talk about SmackDown. Um,
Yeah.
and then when we did Fridays, we were doing it like an hour before SmackDown and like rushing. So, um, yeah, a little more of a structured schedule here now. So we don't have a whole lot of things to get into. We don't have a stacked headlines of the week this week. But still a couple things. Before we get into it, though, a little bit of self promo. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. Subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. Go follow Rule and Wrestling on TikTok. Go follow Stu World Order as well. I know he's not here today, but go check his stuff out as well. They
We
always
love you,
have
Stu.
some. Yeah, we're thinking about you, Stu. Don't worry. Um, so yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first thing we have here, and I don't know how much attention you pay to New Japan, but Zack Sabre Jr. won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and I don't pay a whole lot of attention to New Japan either. It's not something I watch consistently. However, this just seems like it's very random and out of the blue for him to win the title here. Um, from what I've been hearing, there's just no storyline that went into this. It was just like, let's put the title on Zack Sabre.
Yeah, I have a sneaky suspicion. So I'm kind of like you. I used to watch quite a lot in New Japan back in 2017, 18, like the prime, like Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay. I watched a lot of it back then. I've not watched it. I'm not going to pretend that I have watched it in a good couple of years. But when I seen the news about Zack, I thought instantly, and I know this maybe sounds bad, but part of the reason I thought they went for Zack was obviously after All In, I believe the next show AEW have is Forbidden Door,
Yeah.
um, where I would take a wild guess that they're going to have, also they will obviously have the have him on the show, and I think Zach's a lot more of especially it being it's London again, I believe, especially him being from England. I That's what my mind instantly went to. Not the fact that he doesn't deserve it, because Zack Sabre Jr. is arguably one of the best wrestlers in the world. Um, but yeah, that instantly kind of went to my mind. I was like, I wonder if they're doing this to set up a match at Forbidden Door with someone, maybe Will Ospreay. Um, yeah, in a couple of months.
Oh, 100%. That's what came to mind as well. They're definitely setting this up for Forbidden Door. Um yeah, this from what I've been hearing from New Japan as of recent, it's and I'm forgetting the person who books. I forget the name that books everything, but he has not been doing a good job, and I've seen the reports from like New Japan fans, like the diehard fans of New Japan, and even they are saying like I don't know what this guy is doing. It's just random matches put together. There's no storylines put behind it,
Really.
and there's a lot of people that are saying New Japan is kind of falling off when it comes to that storyline telling, and it's just let's put a title on this guy.
Okay, it's a shame to hear because as I said, I've not properly watched New Japan in a while. I think actually, and it's a mental thing to admit nowadays, especially because of he's not exactly tainted his legacy too much, but just a little bit. But I remember when Jericho first went over to do the who was it was it the Naito or was it Omega first? I can't quite remember. I remember that was when it first proper piqued my interest because obviously it was look at it's Chris Jericho, the name value alone. I was like, oh shit, I need to go watch this. And from there, I was like, wait, this New Japan stuff's really good. And that's how I properly got introduced to the likes of, Omega, Okada, Naito, all that before AEW is even a thing. And as I said, I don't want to speak out of term because I'm not the person to speak on this. But like, I don't know, maybe they have struggled a little bit since losing some of the big names to AEW, like sort of Okada, Osprey, Omega, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, not a lot of big names in New Japan anymore. Like you said, they pretty much all went to AEW. Like the Osprey, the Okadas, Omega. Um yeah, and nobody is really like we saw The Rock wearing a New Japan shirt in that one picture.
Yeah,
I don't we still have yet to figure out what that was about. Um maybe he was just wearing the shirt to wear it and he just wanted to cause something on social media. Um but yeah, I'm not saying like obviously Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Um and I think he can do good things with that title. It just came out of nowhere. And
yeah.
I assume he's probably going to hold on to that title for a while just because of the name. And this could lead to New Japan building Zack Sabre as their next Omega or their next Okada or something along those lines with him holding that IWGP heavyweight title.
Yeah, I think they need to. And again, I don't want to speak too much out of turn because I'm not really qualified for it for here. But I think they need to, like, for an ignorant New Japan fan like myself, like Zack Sabre Jr. is a name that I can hear and go, oh, it's Zack Sabre Jr. He's amazing. Yes, I want to see more of him. He's a really marketable name, especially whilst they have a hold of him. Because as we've said with all these other names, he could quite easily end up in AEW in the next couple of years. Also, what happened. Same with Osprey. Like we've got Bushi just coming back. So yeah, he's someone I think in the next couple of years they could potentially lose, in specifically to AEW. So as you said, let's try and make a mega star. Like he's already like not. I'm not arguing that he isn't already a mega star, but let's make a mega star out of Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, 100%. Um, so yeah, that's New Japan news. Yeah, we're not gonna talk too much about that just because we don't watch New Japan that much, and don't want to end up saying the wrong thing, and New Japan fans come at us. Um,
They will come at you as well.
yeah. Oh, I know. Um, so next we have a little bit of a weird and out of the blue thing that happened on TNA. So we got an announcement that at Slammiversary, there is going to be a title for title match. And it's going to be between the winner of JC Jane and Jordan Grace, who are facing off at Evolution, versus Masha Slamovich. I am going to assume that this is going to be Jordan Grace versus Masha Slamovich. And when I saw this news, I started to think that maybe, just maybe, that TNA doesn't really, I don't want to say not like Masha as champion anymore, but they feel like they can get a bigger name to hold that title and just not really happy with how her title reign is going. And maybe they were like, well, maybe we can, get a shared thing with Jordan Grace and she can hold two titles. Because I don't see JC being in this spot. I don't see it being JC. I can definitely see this just being Jordan Grace and Masha Slamovich and Jordan winning both titles.
Yeah, it's what I will say, and I've done quite a few videos on this. I'm talking about the NXT Women's Championship picture specifically. When I seen this news, I was like, "God, this is another curveball that's been thrown in." Because I already don't know what route they're going to go down with this kind of weird triangle of JCJ and Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe. Because I already didn't know what they were going to do. Because we were, I mean, I was one of them sat there saying, I think Jordan Grace is pretty obviously going to win at Evolution. And then Blake Monroe comes into the picture, who I'm like, I feel like they want to put the title on her right away. And I'm pretty certain she is going to turn heel at some point. on Jordan, but then they're teaming up at the Great American Bash to take on Fallon Henry and JCJ. And then this match got announced. So I honestly, I mean, fair play. Like I can't sit there and like I love being surprised, so I can't sit there and complain about this being a surprise. So being like, I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, it's really kind of throwing a spanner on the works. I agree. I think it's going to be Jordan Grace is going to go on to face Marshall. I always really like Marshall, and it's kind of a shame what not this what's happened. She's not done anything wrong. That's the thing that kind of sucks as well. I don't think she's done anything wrong. I think she's had fairly good matches, but yeah, I can see them wanting to put that on Jordan Grace, like to give her the title of the first ever TNA and NXT Women's Champion to cross it over. But then do we see Blake instantly beat Jordan, and I would assume then become also the NXT and TNA Women's Champion at the at the so I don't know. I'm happy with those many different routes it could go. So I'm just kind of excited to see what happens.
As long as they don't unify the titles.
I hope no. So I thought this as well, and I was like, if they unify the titles, TNA is dead, and we don't. Well, I think
Yeah.
TNA already has been potentially bought by WWE. If they unify that title, TNA is gone. Which
Yeah.
I hope. I really like TNA. We said this to obviously Stu's recently started getting into TNA, and I think I used the term that sometimes TNA just does a TNA, and you're like, oh, like they'll do something amazing, and then they'll like bring back Tessa Blanchard, and you're like, TNA.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're very good at doing that. But at the end of the day, I love TNA. It's been a staple for God knows how many years now. So I don't want to see it go because of this kind of partnership with WWE. So I really hope they do not merge the titles.
Yeah, I am still not convinced otherwise that WWE hasn't or like at least in talks of buying TNA.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, if those titles get unified, that's just a confirmation right there.
Oh, yeah. That this is the thing that sucks because it will do more harm than good reputation wise for them to do that. But the fact is, at the end of the day, I don't think WWE cares, and that's because they know that they can do it and get away with it and make the money, and that's what sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they don't care. They definitely don't.
They don't.
If they want to do it, they will.
Yep, that's pretty much WWE in a nutshell.
So there's that. Um let's go into some Monday Night Raw stuff. Uh Out of nowhere as well, the Judgment Day beat the New Day for the World Tag Team Championships. And this kind of, like I said, came out of nowhere. Um, it seems like WWE is really adamant on the whole Judgment Day holds all the gold, even though it's just like the tag titles and like maybe a mid card title in there. Um, they seem very adamant on that, and they seem to obviously really like the Judgment Day and really push them to the top. And I didn't really like the New Day's tag team title reign either. They did absolutely nothing with this reign, and yeah, it was just I was expecting a lot more from this heel turn for the New Day, and we just got nothing. They won it at WrestleMania. They feuded with the same team that they beat at WrestleMania, the War Raiders, and then the Creed brothers for a little bit. And then we had this angle where we never went anywhere with, where the New Day was trying to turn Grayson Waller on Austin Theory, and then they lose the tag titles to the Judgment Day. So yeah, I have no idea what happened with this heel turn. It had potential and it just went absolutely nowhere. But yeah, the Judgment Day are holding tag team gold again.
Yeah, it's weird. I did a video again on this, and my argument was just why does WWE, not WWE, just WWE, Triple H or whoever hate tag team wrestling? Because these two teams went out, and like, see when you actually say the names in this match, you've got Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough. Like these guys are some of the. I'm not going to say, but oh, these are the top. They're definitely from the top 10 wrestlers in the world. They're not, but like these are some fantastic wrestlers, and they went out there and put on a fantastic tag team match. Because by the end of it, I remember sitting there being like so invested to it, and I mean, when Judgment Day won, I was like, oh my god. because I forgot about all the just rubbish over the last year of these tag team titles, and when they're just allowed to go out and do tag team wrestling, they're incredible. And I agree as well with the New Day heel turn, which sucks. And the thing that I think sucks as well, I think I think I said this in my video, is see the New Day as heels, I actually really like everything they do on screen is amazing. Like Xavier Woods and his like pimp outfit, they're walking down the ring just like shouting at children and ripping up signs. I love it. I think it's amazing. It's the fact they're just not allowed to be shown on TV or to even wrestle, which is insane. But either way, like I don't particularly care. I'm too excited about Judgment Day now. Looking forward because we know what happened in the last tag team title reign, but at least it's something different. They need more teams on Raw. They need to give those teams a lot more chances. And in fact, in my video, I brought up. I don't know if it's maybe just in case it's something we're going to talk about later. If it gets brought up, I did say, oh, you've got like the I was the No Quarter Catch crew sat in the back, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Why have they not given them a chance? Turns out they're injured as well, which sucks.
Oh wow.
um, yeah, they're apparently injured, which absolutely sucks for the two of them. But I was saying stuff like that like the Raw tag team division needs more teams. Whereas like SmackDown on the similar, it's not as bad as Raw, but in a similar vein, all the teams on SmackDown go out and absolutely kill it every night. And now, especially adding in Andrade and Ray Phoenix, like the SmackDown division is cool, but like, once again, they just don't get the opportunities. Look at the TLC match getting snubbed from WrestleMania, then they go out there and put on a literal 5-star match. Like I don't understand WWE. Just seems like a hatred for tag team wrestling.
Yeah. Um yeah, this Raw tag division has just been an absolute disaster. And even on the SmackDown side of things, we have more teams involved, but it's kind of becoming just the same thing. And yeah, WWE needs to pay more attention to this tag team division. If they want to have these tag teams on screen and want to have some good storylines, then they need to actually make some good storylines. And yeah, it's just been really bad. It's been a pain to watch this tag team division, especially on Raw. On SmackDown, they still have good moments, and
Yeah,
that's okay. But yeah, this Raw tag division is just
it's a shambles.
it's bad. Yeah. Um, but yeah, the Judgment Day are holding those. Hopefully, they actually defend these titles this time. Last reign, I think they defended it once and then lost it.
Sounds about right. Once or twice. That's what I mean. And it's the same with the New Day one. New Day literally wrestled twice. That was it. I think once against Viking, like not the Viking Raiders, the War Raiders, and once against the Creed Brothers. I think that was it in the entire time.
Yeah, I think it was three. I think they had a
Was
triple threat tag match as well with the War Raiders and Creeds.
as you said, even there, that's just like they just using the same teams. It's like there's
Yeah.
nothing. I was very surprised that Axiom and Fraser went to SmackDown. I mean, obviously they fit in with the faster pace of the SmackDown tag division a bit more,
Yeah.
but like you can't just be like, oh, this one brand has all the good tag teams and this other brand doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Um as for the rest of Raw, nothing else too much happened. We had Rusev beating Sheamus. That's just
Great
a
match.
yeah, good match, but just a feud that's probably gonna go nowhere. And um it seems like they brought Rusev back for that one night pop and just didn't plan anything for him after that. Um
Yeah, it seems that I think I said this in a title where I was like, I'm a when there was talks about Rusev and Aleister Black coming back, I was like, I am less worried about Aleister Black than I am for Rusev. Put it that way.
yeah. Um and I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to run this match back between Rusev and Sheamus.
Oh yeah,
Um
we could get a best of seven. I think maybe not quite best of seven, but I think they'll definitely do another a couple of bangles after bangles just to prove a point. I did see something on Twitter though. I know we say it all the time. We're just like talking about Sheamus. So this guy just like hasn't had a bad match in about 4 years. It's crazy.
the match with Rusev and Sheamus was good. but I don't think it'll, if they do like something like a best of seven, it won't come anywhere near to the one he had with Cesaro.
Oh no, no way. I don't think so. I don't think they've got as you said, it was a good match, and they do have good chemistry, but not to that extent. And I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm being a little bit negative here. I don't see them putting on banger after banger if they do consistent matches. I just don't, because to me this match was, it was fine. It wasn't really good, but it definitely wasn't bad. It was just like, okay, that was a good match.
So yeah,
Um
sorry, midway for choking on a drink there.
oh, no worries.
Yeah, I was like, I was trying not to joke there on my mic, but yeah, no, yeah, it'll be intriguing to see how they do. But even as you said, even if they put on great matches, I don't really see it leading to anywhere for either of them. And that's the thing. See, even if they have great matches, and at the end of it, you would assume Rusev to win. I still think it's going to be more of a push for Sheamus because folk are just going to go, "Oh, Sheamus is really good, isn't he?" And then Rusev, even if he wins that feud, is still going to get forgotten about.
Yeah. Um as for the rest of Raw, nothing else interesting happened. Bailey and Lyra um ended in a draw. I completely forgot that happened,
Oh,
but I'm reading my notes and it ended in a draw. Because both women's shoulders were on the
I
mat.
they were. I hate currently what they're doing. Like they need to. I don't know how you feel. They, in my opinion, need to turn Lyra heel soon because I'm hating how they're booking her currently. And it's such because I think what they did for her with Becky was fantastic. It was really good. And you could start to get behind Lyra as the champion and to lose the belt and to go on the chase with Becky. But since losing the belt and bringing Bailey into it, and it's not Bailey's fault, it's Lyra's booking. Lyra's been I hate what they're doing currently.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. It's definitely fell off. Um, and I'm starting to like Lyra. It took me a
Yeah,
while. I won't lie, it took me a
yeah.
while to really get behind her. And I was one of the people who were saying maybe she got called up too soon, but she adapted and she's doing really well. But yeah, like you said, the booking is just starting to just not be good. And I hate endings like this. Like, unless there's a match that really, really needs it. Like we brought up the in the I think it was the Cena podcast that we did of Night of Champions 2012 when Punk and Cena did it.
Yeah,
That worked. This didn't work here. This needed a winner.
yeah. I think especially when and I say it a lot that obvious isn't necessarily bad, but in
Yeah.
this case, I think having obvious and this match finish hampered it because I think it's obvious that for everyone thought that the evolution it was going to be a triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. I think most folk would have assumed, if not at least SummerSlam. So they went to this match, and you see, I knew straight away how it was going to go. I was saying, all right, you're going to have you two going to face off, and the winner's going to face Becky at Evolution for the Intercontinental Championship. So I was instantly I went, they're going to do either a double finish or they're both going to get counted out or something. And then it happened in the match, and I was watching. I was like, told you, like it's.
Yeah.
And there's this one time where I'm like, I already knew what the finish was going. This is one of the few times where I'm like, the obvious booking made the eventual booking bad, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Whenever we in WWE, whenever we have two people feuding with the champion and they fight in a number one contender match, it almost never ends in a clean finish.
Yep, exactly.
Uh but yeah, there's nothing else really that I want to go over for Raw. It was an okay episode, in my opinion. I believe Seth versus LA Knight got confirmed for Saturday night's main event.
That okay, that's actually maybe a point. Just what I thought was kind of weird because we spoke about it, the fact that we thought that LA Knight was injured, if LA Knight wasn't injured, and I understand to an extent why it was him, but why did Sammy come out at the end of Night of Champions to confront Seth and not LA Knight? Like, it would have probably been equally a bigger pop because Saudi love LA Knight. So, I don't know. I thought it was a bit of a weird decision.
Yeah. Yeah, that is weird. Unless he healed extremely fast. I no idea.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
like even for a kayfabe injury, like that was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Um, so switching topics from the TV stuff a little bit here. Um, I don't believe this has fully been 100% confirmed yet, but it's been rumored and it's likely to happen. Cody Rhodes is supposed to be casted as Guile in the Street Fighter movie, and this is something I can see. Um, I'm not like I used to play the Street Fighter games. I obviously don't anymore. Um, but I can see Cody Rhodes playing Guile. If they throw on like that, like the afro on him or something like that. I saw like a AI sketch of what Cody Rhodes as Guile would look like, and yeah, I think he could pull it off. And I think this is actually really cool for Cody. Um, I don't know how he acts. I don't know if his acting is going to be good. Uh, there's a movie that he is in. I can't remember the name of it now, but he's like a bartender in it. Um,
Oh,
so
God, what's that called? Yeah, he is. I remember seeing it, the trailer for it.
yeah, so I'm going to be watching that movie once I can remember the title of it. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll get like a sneak peek at like what his acting would be in there. But yeah, this is really cool for him. And uh obviously not 100% confirmed, but the last time there was a rumor like this, it was Roman Reigns playing Kuma in the movie, and that appeared to be true.
Yeah, so I'm kind of, I'm actually not even like you at all. They'll say, I didn't play the Street Fighter games growing up, so I didn't, it doesn't necessarily mean anything to me when this was announced, but just having a look at the character and also knowing from what I've heard a bit about the background is this guy's meant to be the kind of all American guy of the Street Fighter franchise. I know you can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, which if he is, then I guess yeah, he looks like Cody, and that kind of sounds like Cody's character. I'm more interested, as you said, very happy for Cody for the opportunity to do that. But I wonder if that is confirmed, and we've spoken about it at length with Stu on the other podcast. I wonder if this is confirmed. Does that make the potential finish to SummerSlam slightly obvious of who's going to be walking out as the WWE champion?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a point that we brought up. The fact that maybe Seth just cashes in on Cody after he beats Cena at SummerSlam that same night. And that sends Cody off for for this movie.
Yeah, I think that if the movie if it is confirmed that he's going to be playing it, I think that makes the percentage chance of that happening a lot higher. The only thing that is going to throw me off about that, and again, something we'll talk about later in another episode, but it's the fact of the minute that I think everyone's kind of on the same page that it looks like we could be booking two cash-ins on the same night, which I don't think's ever happened, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. We were talking, we didn't think it could happen.
Yep.
But it very well could this year.
So good way for Triple H used to be like, I hate these briefcases, get rid of them all at once.
Yep, on the same night. That way
Yep,
we don't have to deal with it.
exactly.
Okay, so I am gonna start another meeting before
Oh
we
yeah, cool.
to the rest. All right, we are back. So yeah, Cody Rhodes as Guile in Street Fighter. Really good opportunity for him, and yeah, I really like it. Um, moving on to some other stuff, we have a few signing rumors, and people leaving and wanting to go elsewhere. WWE is apparently interested in signing Private Party and Danhausen, who are in AEW. Um, and then we have some stuff with Britt Baker apparently wanting out of AEW. And obviously, I believe she posted a tweet like a something about a water, like something like a water reference, like a water bottle is like $1 here, $3 at the airport, and something like that. Um, signaling that like she's unhappy where she is right now, and she'd rather leave and be valued somewhere else. Um, so for this, I don't see why WWE would need Danhausen or even Britt Baker. Private Party, I can see signing to NXT. Um, but I don't see the need for Danhausen, and I don't see the need for Britt Baker. And I say that because there's been a lot of stuff that goes around about Britt Baker. And if I'm WWE, I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about all the rumors and all the talk that's surrounded her about her not being the friendliest person backstage. And if I'm WWE, I'm asking around. I'm like, okay, was it reasonable? Was she in the wrong? Was she right? And just in general, if I'm WWE, I don't want that in the locker room because if she is causing problems, and we had a response tweet to Britt's tweet from Queen Aminata, who posted a water bottle, and obviously that has to be a shot at Britt Baker. Um, and I don't hear anything about Queen Aminata causing problems backstage, but I hear a lot of things about Britt Baker. And so to me, I don't think because Britt Baker would go straight to NXT. I don't think she'd go to the main roster right away. She'd go to NXT, and we already have stuff with like Blake Monroe trying to find her way into the NXT Women's Title picture. I just don't think. I think it would just get crammed up, too crammed up for WWE if they would sign Britt Baker.
Yeah, so I agree on actually pretty much all of that. Only a couple of little points. So, firstly, I think there's like a yes, maybe, and no answer to all three of these. So, the no one, I agree. I was Danhausen. I really like Danhausen. He will not work in WWE.
Mm-mm.
It might work in NXT, but I think his ceiling is very low. He might get a Heritage Cup if he's really lucky and the timing's right, and North American Championship. That's maybe it. I don't think it works, and I don't see the. I want to feel bad saying I don't see the point in signing him, but for both parties, I don't see the point. I think Danhausen would be better off getting his dates and making more money than he probably would in NXT on the Indies, selling merch and stuff. So I don't see them signing Danhausen. Who I do see them signing, and I think you said it perfectly, is Private Party, and I think specifically to NXT because boy does the NXT tag team division need a few extra people in there. So
Yeah.
I think I think Private Party would do well in NXT in that division. Yeah, the Britt Baker thing is very interesting because, as you said, yes, there is a lot of backstage info that comes out about her. The two parts of it that I would say is I could see WWE signing her no matter what. One, because at the end of the day, she is also a very talented wrestler, but
Yeah.
simply to spite AEW, she was one of the pillars of their women's division from the beginning. And I spoke about it in my video about her, where I said it was kind of weird what happened with her because at the beginning, up there with Hikaru Shida, she was like one of the like going to be the main staples of the women's division, and she was from 2019 to 2020. Um, and then she just kind of vanished. Obviously, injuries played a part, and then she kind of got leapfrogged by Tony Storm, Mariah May, and then also eventually Mercedes Moné. And then, as you said, since then, kind of backstage trouble as well has not helped with that at all. Um, the thing with Britt, though, and also with AEW, from what I've gathered, Britt's contract isn't up until late 2026, if not even 2027, from what I believe. And AEW have apparently no intention of releasing it. They might do kind of what they were doing at the beginning with Phoenix. They might eventually release it if the negative press comes in about it. But from what I've gathered, they just want to let us sit out our contract, and the fact that they will definitely be adding injury time to it as well. We might not even see Britt Baker in WWE until late 2027, if not 2028, by the time she gets round there. So the entire landscape will have changed by that point. If she is to come in, it's a shame because as a wrestler, I would love to see her kind of in the mix, but I don't know what it's going to be like by the time we get there. If she gets released and gets signed, I mean, fair enough, I suppose. Um, but yeah, it's a weird one, the Brit one. I think I really don't know. I'm really in the middle of whether or not she would go or wouldn't go.
Yeah. She's also and like this is another point I have on why I don't think WWE should sign her. Um she's in her 30s now, I believe. And she, like you said, she is a great wrestler. But at this point now, and depending on when AEW decides to release her, is she going to be better? Is she going to be stagnated, or is she going to be worse? And
Yeah,
um I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what that answer would be. But if I'm WWE, am I taking the risk to find that out? And
that's a good point.
that's another point, and just, I don't see it working out with Britt Baker in WWE. Um, especially especially if she is the one causing problems backstage. And from what I know, the NXT backstage environment is a very peaceful and happy environment, and the last thing that you'd want back there is someone causing problems.
Yeah, I mean that's the same in any work environment, as you said. Like especially when there's already good harmony, you don't want to mess it up. But
Yeah.
I think you're totally right. Though, as you said, it's hard to predict and to look at what it's going to be going forward. And as you said, Britt is already, as you said, into her 30s. If she wasn't to get released until 2027, if not 2028, you know, I don't even know if they were to sign her, would they even bother putting her in NXT at that point? And if so, would it only be maybe a couple of years deal to the main roster? And as we pointed out, there's a hell of a lot of young talent coming up who will be top of the main roster by that point. Will Britt have a place? Possibly not.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, that's the rumors there. But yeah, I'm 100% agreement with Private Party. I think that they should sign Private Party. Um, and like obviously this is the thing where like back to Britt Baker quickly. It's like WWE obviously has to want to sign her. Like she can't just be like, okay, I'm done in
Yeah.
AEW. I'm gonna go here. Um, even though there was that like one guy at the performance center, I forget his name, that just kept showing up, be like, hey, give me a job. Um, so yeah, that there's that. Um, so that's that. In terms of SmackDown, we can go over a bit of what happened on SmackDown. So pull it up here. So obviously I had these spoilers way before the show started. Um, so I pretty much knew everything that was gonna happen, but I still had it on because it's SmackDown and it was 2 hours. I well actually if you're international like Runai, it was only like what an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean they cut out all the adverts. Yeah,
So yeah, Cody had a promo at the start, interrupted by Randy. Uh, they did their thing. Drew returned and Drew ate an RKO. That set up Drew and Randy at Saturday night's main event. Uh, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss um, beat the Secret Hervis and Meechin and BFAB to earn a spot in the Women's Tag Team Championship Fatal Four Way for Evolution. The Wyatt Six beat Ford, Sabin, Gargano, and Berto. We had another tag match with Andrade and Rey Phoenix where they beat Fraxium. Um, then the main event, it was Jacob Fatu, Jimmy Uso defeating Solo and JC Mateo. Um, and then I did you see what happened after that match as well?
Maybe. Not could not tell you off the top of my head right now, but go
Um,
for it. As in,
okay, you're okay with it?
yeah, go for it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to finish it off after this fight. I'm listening. I've only made it up to the Tiffany and Jade segment, and what happens. I already know what's kind of happening after that. Big go for it.
Okay. So yeah, after the match, Solo, JC, Tongaloa, and Talo Tonga beat up Jacob and Jimmy, and then ended up putting Jacob through a table. That's all that really happened.
Hey, cool.
Um, yeah, SmackDown was fine. Glad it was shorter this week. Um, much shorter. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts about SmackDown? I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well, like as you said, it was kind of just all right. But I'm going to take a wild guess that they probably tried to give it quite a simplistic show, especially for the crowd, because often this was taped after Monday Night Raw, so
Yeah,
the crowd would probably be exhausted. So I can forgive them for this one. But I mean, okay, I can go for it again. So Drew returning was a bit of a surprise when I seen the headline for it. I thought he'd go for a wee bit longer. Fair enough, he's always come back. Looks like he could potentially down the line. Looks like he wants to go into a feud with Cody, which I guess starting off taking out Randy is a good start, I guess, to get to Cody.
yeah,
Um, which makes sense. Drew Cody main event title scene. I would love to see that, but I seemed also that we got a potential hint of a feud between Drew and Jacob down the line. Something maybe I don't know. If Drew is to win the WWE Championship further down the line, Drew and Jacob, I'd be interested in that.
yeah.
Happy for Drew. Obviously, I'm biased. If you can't tell, just by the accent. um, yeah, that tag team matches were all really fun. As I've not got to the Fraxium one yet, but I could already tell just by what four men win the match that it'd probably be a great match.
Yeah.
But yeah, 8-man match was good. Um, wasn't was a wee bit down on the women's tag team match. It was a wee bit off, but I'll forgive them for it. Just it probably been quite a rushed show on Monday. Charlotte and Alexa, I probably would have predicted that to be. Actually, there's maybe an interesting one. Maybe it's something we should maybe talk about for the Evolution podcast. But I'm really intrigued at who the other teams are going to be. I'm actually like not too sure.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I also just noticed that on the website I put this was taped on July 1st. It was not. It was taped on June 30th after Raw. Um, so yeah, that
Close,
was my
close enough.
mistake.
Close
um,
enough.
yeah, just a day off. Um,
It's fine. It's fine.
but yeah, like I said, this episode was fine. I believe they're back to 3 hours next week.
Oh, are they?
If I'm not mistaken, I have no idea.
Oh,
I'm
all right. Was this just? I thought it was back to 2 hours altogether. Was this just like a special for the fourth?
I think it was just a special. I think they are going back
Oh,
to
you've
three
broken my
hours.
heart.
Yeah, I could be mistaken. This could just be like permanent. Hopefully, it is. Um, I'm gonna do some more research on that, so nobody take my word for it as of right now. But um, yeah, from what I was getting from this, I think this was just a special.
Okay, that's So yeah, I thought it was going back full time. I just said also maybe I have to wait and see, but that's a shame. I thought it was going back to 12.
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Um, so yeah, that's everything we have for the headlines of the week. Yeah, not a whole lot of stuff to talk about this week, but still some interesting things. Um, yeah, we are going to be here quite a bit the next couple of weeks though, because we have a lot of predictables to do. We have like Saturday night's main event coming up. Slammiversary, I don't know if I'm gonna do a whole podcast for. Maybe we'll throw that into the headlines of the week. Um,
Yeah.
then yeah, we have Evolution, uh, All In, a lot of pay per views coming up. So yeah, you guys are gonna have a lot of podcasts to listen to, and we're gonna have a lot of podcasts to do, and a lot of wrestling to talk about in the next couple weeks. So yeah, I will see you guys when that time comes. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. Subscribe to the Go5 page. It's $5 minimum for the exclusive wrestling content tier. Check out my WWE shop link. It's always in the description if you plan on buying anything from WWE shop. Go follow Ruin Wrestling on TikTok. Also, go follow Stu World Order, who couldn't join us today. Um, yeah, go follow his stuff. And yeah, it's always in the description below. So, uh, yeah, I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.